Basketball League. There we go. Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. We are coming to you live from Stadium 29 right here in Bangkok, Thailand, as we bring you the 9th season of the ASEAN Basketball League, Rise to Greatness. And this is Martin Javier working alongside Marco Benitez. Marco B, great to have you here as we take a look at and take a scan of our team standings at this point of the season.
And we see two teams in opposing ends of the spectrum. Formosa Dreamers, they had just one win last season, right now still undefeated at 6-0. Meanwhile, Mono Vampire Basketball Squad, finalist of last season, still winless here in Season 9, looking to get their first win in their second and final meeting against the Formosa Dreamers this season.
And Formosa Dreamers, the only unblemished, undefeated team in the league. Mono Vampire, very hungry for a win, and they're looking to do that in their home court here in Stadium 29.
Head coach Mr. Gakas Murray. And now, introduce for Mono Vampire Basketball Club.
Oh, and a chase down blocked.
First player number 21. Please welcome Chris Charles. 77, Shichai Anandi. Number 7, Michael Sigatari. Number 65, Tirawachan Tajan. Number 69, Nurongpan Apiro Wilachai. Player number 5, Jason Brickman. Number 33, Nopon Sangtong. Player number 36, Solotsun Ton Siri. Number 20, Tawachai Sukta. Number 10, Supawit Kukantin. Number 11, Morset Morgan. And number 91, or 30, Shanashon Klahai. And course, Mr. Marty Duckworth.
Back here to our coverage in Stadium 29, Bangkok, Thailand. This is the 9th season of your ASEAN Basketball League, Rise to Greatness. And we take a look at this matchup between the Mono Vampire and the visiting Formosa Dreamers of Taiwan. My name is Martin Javier, working alongside Marco B. And again, Formosa Dreamers playing their 7th game of the season. Mono Vampire playing their 5th. As we see here, the officials that will be spearheading the officiating in this game. And Marco B, interesting matchup here. Again, unblemished Formosa Dreamers. It's interesting to see how long they could keep this up, this winning streak of them. It's at 6 right now, and we take a look at Kenny Chen, the top local player. How big is this guy for the lineup of the Formosa Dreamers? He's now comfortable with the system, now comfortable with the rotation of the coach, and is now having a breakout season for the Dreamers.
And you know, that's right. He seems to be more comfortable here in his role with the Formosa Dreamers squad. Last season, everybody knew that he was going to be athletic. He has great hops, but he was forced to do a lot of the playmaking, running the point guard spot. Right now, his role is primarily as the primary defender against opposing imports. He also shoots those spot-up three-point shots, so he has been more comfortable and more relaxed. As you see, he also is able to attack the basket almost at will against smaller perimeter defenders. So Kenny Chen has been a vital starter for them, and as has been Seven Glass, Malcolm Miller, and of course Will Artino, the 3 imports.
Kenny Chen also contributing defensively in that game. 2 blocks, 2 steals, and Malcolm Miller, as you were mentioning, 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. Just fulfills his role and in an excellent way for the Formosa Dreamers this year.
And you know, he came out on fire, had 17 points in that first half, only managed 2 points in the second half that came in the last few minutes of the fourth quarter, but that was enough to get them that victory, as Will Artino also stepped up big for this Formosa Dreamers squad. As one of their key players, Artino plays out both inside and outside.
That's right.
You see that two-man game between Malcolm Miller and Will Artino. They like to isolate those two players on the right side of the floor, and because Miller is such a great shooter from the outside, defense has to choose their poison, whether it's to double Malcolm Miller or to defend against Will Artino inside.
And the Formosa Dreamers went undefeated in their latest homestand, and their last opponent was the Mono Vampire team, and they won close. Only a 5-point win for the Formosa Dreamers, but a good win, especially off a back-to-back.
And one thing that has been really different this season for the Dreamers is their ability to take care of the basketball, as we see here. Chichay Ananti, one of the big revelations for Mono Vampire last game against the CLS Knights. 14 points, 4 of 8 from long distance, also had 2 steals. They're going to need Chichay Ananti and the rest of the locals to come up big here for Mono Vampire. They've only been using about 7 players in heavy rotation. Pretty much the starting 5 playing above 30 minutes per game, but they're going to have to rely a lot on their local support if they want to turn things around here for Coach Douglas Marty.
Chichay Ananti, one of the best two-way local players here in the league. As you can see there, the 3-point sniping has been effective for Chichay Ananti against the CLS Knights on the road. 4 triples for Chichay, and Mike Singletary, another day at the office for Mike. 29 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, but again, not enough to get them their first victory.
I know Singletary has really been carrying the scoring load here for the Mono Vampire squad. Had 29 points against the CLS Knights, 24 points against the Formosa Dreamers last Sunday, and expect him to come out aggressive, to come out strong, come out shooting those 3-point shots as he is known to do so for Mono Vampire, but also expect Jason Brickman to really start trying to find Chris Charles inside the paint. They're going to have to dominate inside with Chris Charles if they want to get a victory here against the Dreamers.
This is the game. Also a close one for Mono Vampire. But again, it was a road loss against the CLS Knights with Mike Singletary leading the way. Just not enough firepower towards the end. And that's pretty ironic going into this season for Mono Vampire. They were actually one of the best offensive teams a season ago, averaging almost or over 100 points per game. Now, they're just at the 80-point mark so far.
Meanwhile, in contrast, Formosa Dreamers, number 1 3-point shooting team in the league right now, averaging about 42% from long distance and 84 points per game. As you see here, the starting 5, the regular starting 5 of Mono Vampire. And at 0-4, I don't think it's time to panic here for Coach Douglas Marty. You've only had Chris Charles. This is only his 3rd game into the season, and chemistry still trying to get the feel for. They're still trying to get the feel for themselves here, and you can be sure as Jason Brickman and Chris Charles develop that chemistry more and more, they're going to have better and more competitive games here for Mono.
And there you go, Mono Vampire versus the Formosa Dreamers on a Saturday here in the ASEAN Basketball League Season number 9. Both coaches flashed on your screens. Again, Formosa Dreamers at 6-0, undefeated so far. Mono Vampire very hungry for that first win. They plan to do it here at home at Stadium 29, and ball is up here. Mono will have first crack at the basket. Now, if you're Mono Vampire, let's go first to their side, Marco B. What do they need to do, or what do they need to get out of this game in order for them to come out victorious?
Well, I think they have to push the pace. They're a team that likes to run, get out in transition. Of course, they're a team that also likes to shoot the 3 ball. Had 9 3-point shots in their last game against the Dreamers, so they're going to have to hit from the outside, push the pace, force the Dreamers into turnovers, because this is a team that only committed 12 turnovers the past 2 games combined, and they're going to have to play excellent perimeter defense against the 3 imports and the shooters of the guys in black.
And now they are guarding them closely at the 3-point line. Will Artino puts it on the floor, forced to take the tough shot, does not connect. Brickman gets the rebound.
That's great defense there, and you see Singletary immediately attacking the basket on the first possession that he got the ball from Jason Brickman.
So just like their first meeting, Marco B, a strong start for Mono Vampire. They actually started the game 11-5 before the Dreamers ending the first quarter on a 13-0 run, 18-11 after that first.
That game was actually a game of runs in that second quarter. Mono also had an 8-0 run, answered by a 9-0 run by the Dreamers. So that time, first 3-point shot of Malcolm Miller. So we're going to have to take a look at how Mono Vampire defends that ball screen between Miller and Will Artino.
And Chris Charles inside immediately draws the foul underneath. And that's the force. And that's the presence Chris Charles has underneath.
And you know, on the flip side, we're going to have to see how the Dreamers defend that ball screen between Chris Charles and Jason Brickman. We saw in that game between the CLS Knights and the Mono Vampire squad that CLS Knights were successful when they defended that ball screen by going under the screen and forcing Brickman to try to score from the outside. Whenever they tried to turn the corner and follow on that ball screen, Brickman would burn them by penetrating inside the paint and then picking off those open shooters. So let's see, that's going to be an interesting thing here to see how the Dreamers defend that ball screen.
I'm sure that's something they also had to address talking about Mono Vampire at practice this week. And now it is a 7-3 lead for Mono Vampire here at home. Malcolm Miller losing the basketball. Morgan picks it up. Moses goes to Brickman. Brickman, he moves closer. He stops, runs into trouble, kicks it back out. They go to the corner. Aperon Vilay-Chai. They go to Chris Charles. Short snap. It's good.
See the Mono Vampire focusing on the inside. That's the second time they tried to look for Chris Charles directly in the post, and successful once again is Chris Charles.
And it's now a 9-3 lead for Mono Vampire. Not for long though, as Formosa gets that jumper. Will Artino, his first 2 points off the game.
Will Artino is so dangerous because he can hurt you both from the outside and from the inside, and he's also a decent passer.
That's right.
For a big man.
One of the most versatile centers we have here in the league, Will Artino. A problem for all opposing centers here in the ABL. 9-5 lead for Mono Vampire. 7-43 here in the first. Singletary off the inbound.
And once again, Singletary going inside. Second consecutive basket inside the paint. Kenny Chen is going to have his hands full against Mike Singletary.
Right.
He was somewhat successful defending Singletary in that game in Taiwan, but right now Singletary 4 quick points early.
This is going to be another story as they're playing here in Stadium 29. Kenny Chen getting the offensive rebound. Ball is loose. Glass picks it up. And that's a traveling violation against Glass.
And it looks like Mike Singletary got away with a foul there on a trip on Tevin Glass. So that's going to be another turnover for the Dreamers. Two early turnovers here. Remember, in that game against the Mono Vampire squad, they had 5 turnovers
as a
in
team.
Total.
Wow. Brickman. Moses Morgan puts it on the floor. Retreats to Brickman here, who uses the screen of Morgan. Brickman to Chris Charles. Baseline jumper is good.
Chris Charles is on fire early in this game. Warrior with 6 of the Vampires' 13 points. And Brickman's so good at using that double ball screen up top.
Now this is the Mono Vampire that we know, high-scoring team. And they've put up 13 points so far in the first. Kenny Chen missing from downtown. Artino with the offensive rebound. Chen losing it again, and that's a 3rd turnover here for the Dreamers.
Very uncharacteristic here of the Dreamers, but you see the defense of Mono Vampire very aggressive, coming out on the shooters of the Dreamers. They very well know that the Dreamers are a very good 3-point shooting team.
So here is Mike Singletary blowing past Kenny Chen there. But we got a foul on the floor against the Dreamers.
Remember that first game last Sunday, it was an 11-5 start for Mono Vampire. Right now at 13-5, so they're going to be very wary about the firepower of the Dreamers because they can come back strong.
Brickman from straight away. That is off. Artino with the rebound. But the Dreamers are not calling any timeouts.
Yep.
So
that time they went under the screen to defend against Jason Brickman. Brickman had an open shot, just missed it.
Glass cross court. Tevin Glass working on Morgan. Back to Lee. Bounce pass to Miller from the corner. That is off. Brickman tapping it to Morgan. What a pickup there by Moses Morgan. Here's Jason Brickman on the move. Singletary down low. Oh, stripped by Lee. Good hands.
That quick hands there by Lee. He was facing a mismatch with Singletary against him in the post.
Here's Artino. Watch out. That's going to bounce out for Will Artino.
In and out there for Artino, who has such a soft touch from the outside. And that's a nice screen there from Chris Charles, creating space for that penetration by Jason Brickman.
Jason Brickman blowing past everybody there all the way to the basket. And it is now a 10-point lead for the home team, Mono Vampire, 15-5. We've got a timeout. We welcome you back to our coverage, the 9th season of the ABL Rise to Greatness. Martin Javier working alongside Marco Benitez. We are here inside Stadium 29, and a strong start, blistering start by the home team Mono Vampire, jumping into a 10-point lead, 15-5.
You know, it's pretty much been all Mono Vampire in this game. 0 points from turnovers, 0 second chance points. Those are the first 2 points in the paint for the Formosa Dreamers on that penetration by Malcolm Miller. That's going to be the first foul on Chris Charles. So that is something he also has to be wary of. He fell into foul trouble in that game last Sunday. Picked up 2 quick fouls in the first half.
That's a good response off the timeout for the Formosa Dreamers. Again, that timeout in the first quarter was key for them to spark that run, the big run, the 13-0 run in the first frame. So let's see if the same thing will happen here, as Malcolm Miller could not complete the 3-point play. So it's 15-7 for Mono Vampire.
And you know, if you're a Mono Vampire fan, one of the things that you like about the way they're playing right now is that they're sharing the basketball. 5 assists already for the home squad. 4 of those coming from Jason Brickman.
They lose it. Artino at the top of the key gets it to Chen.
You see the offense of the Formosa Dreamers, pretty much everybody outside that 3-point line.
And Chen kick it back out. Kevin Glass, 8 seconds to shoot on the step back jumper. That is off for Glass, airballs that shot. Apino Vilachai on the move, goes to the corner. Brickman does not shoot the 3, kicks it out to Morgan. Moses, the floater in the lane, that drops.
And this is where Jason Brickman is at his best, penetrating into the paint, forcing the defense to react and then kicking it out. And as the defense scrambles, that time Moses Morgan with another open drive for that floater.
So Mono Vampire continuing their hot start, 17-7 now. That is the count. Lee, bounce pass inside, Tevin Glass. No good on the teardrop shot.
That was a good shot though for Tevin Glass.
Brickman runs into trouble again, and it will go the other way.
Trying to dribble inside traffic was Jason Brickman. So that's going to be his first turnover of the game.
And it looks like they're now anticipating that penetration from Jason Brickman.
Two faces on the floor here. Woo Sung Wei together with Chen.
Here's the handoff to Artino. He drops it inside. Dangerous pass picked off by Singletary.
That was well defended there as Singletary fronted Malcolm Miller.
Ananti from the corner knocks it down.
Continuing that hot shooting streak all the way from Surabaya. First 3-pointer of the game for Chichay Ananti.
And Big Tarawat cheering on from the sideline. Miller against Singletary. He goes baseline. Nice fake by Miller. And Mike Singletary will be called for the personal.
Nice blow by there by Malcolm Miller, driving baseline. Immediately got Singletary off balance with that up fake and drew the foul against Singletary.
Got Singletary to commit, and now he will have a chance at the free throw line. Malcolm Miller, excellent season so far from him. A little bit of everything. from Malcolm, 17 points, 10 rebounds, and a little over 7 assists per game.
And Martha, one thing that we were talking about is the beauty of this trio of imports for the Formosa Dreamers is that they shoot the ball well from the outside, and they also do not commit that many mistakes during the game. I think last game they had a combined 3 turnovers between the 3 of them, so that's 1 turnover apiece between Miller, Artino, and Glass.
Talk about discipline this team has on the floor.
And talk about efficiency.
Glass, they get the steal. Oh, they turn the ball over. As we mentioned that, Brickman on the move. Glass deflecting that pass, breaking up the play, but it will stay at the side of Mono Vampire. 21 seconds on their shot clock.
And Tevin Glass quickly admitting that it was his fault.
Jason Brickman goes to Morgan, who fires. That is way short for Moses Morgan.
And Moses Morgan has yet to find the range. Last game, he was 1 of 6 from long distance against the Dreamers, and against the CLS Knights, he was just 1 out of 10. And they expect a lot more outside sniping.
Moses Morgan, of course, coming over from the Saigon Heat. Plays as a local now for Mono Vampire. Artino puts it on the floor. And that's a travel infraction called on Artino.
It looks like the Mono Vampire squad did their scouting, learned from their previous mistakes that last game. Morgan with the help could have gotten away with a foul there as he got stepped on by Artino, but good help defense there coming from Moses Morgan.
So here is Jason Brickman now. Oh, bounce pass inside, Singletary underneath. Ball is deflected, but they're saying it's last touch on Singletary.
And they like to run that backdoor cut off that double ball screen, and Formosa Dreamers just quick enough to recover for Singletary to fumble that.
And that was actually a risky pass from Jason Brickman. A lot of defenders covering Singletary on the baseline. And now Suton Siri checks in for Brickman.
Let's see, that turnover goes against Jason Brickman. That would be his 2nd turnover of the game.
Here's Chen. They go to Tianlei. Tianlei moves closer, pulls up, does not get the bounce. Singletary with the board.
And this is also one of the major differences here for the Formosa Dreamers. The guys off the bench, specifically Tianlei and Chen, very solid off the bench. They're veterans of the national team. They've also played in the CBA, so these guys are mature. These guys do not commit a lot of mistakes, and they can also score whether from the inside or the outside.
And that's actually what they have this year, the stability, especially at the point guard position. Talking about the Formosa Dreamers, a lot more composed, a lot more mature on the floor. And that's Lee and Chen.
And you have guys who know their roles on the floor, who know their roles in the team, who do not play out of control, who just play within the system, play within their games.
But look out, Mono Vampire jumping into a 12-point advantage here. 21-9, 2 minutes remaining here in the first. Oh, correction, Malcolm Miller is actually averaging about 5.7 assists per game. There you go. Miller with a basketball. The crossover. Oh, kicking it out. Chen for 3. Drops it in.
That one caused by the penetration of Malcolm Miller, breaking down his defender. Chris Charles forced to help out inside. Chen was wide open. 2nd 3-pointer of the game for the Dreamers.
That slices the lead to 9 points. Chris Charles hands it over to Suton Siri. In trouble here. Mono Vampire loses the basketball. Woo Sung Wei picks it up.
Douglas Markey gambling on his reserves here towards the end of the first quarter.
Pass deflected. That was intended to the wide open, or for the wide open Chicha Yananti. So good stop at the break for the Formosa Dreamers. Here is the 3-pointer earlier by Chen.
And, I think Coach Douglas Markey learned from the lesson of that last game where Brickman, Morgan, and Singletary all played 40 minutes in that game. Right. Charles had 37. So doing a better job rotating his players, getting the reserves in, managing the minutes of his starters. Right now, Chantachon in the game for Chris Charles.
Morgan off the catch and shoot, still off. So all locals now on the floor for Coach Douglas. With a little over a minute remaining here in the first quarter.
There's just a 9-point advantage here, so they have to be very careful.
Chen attacks. Oh, nice drop off there. That's a hard foul given up by Sunton Siri.
You see the veteran smarts there of Chen. Drew the defense, drew about 3 white shirts towards him on that penetration. And that last second drop off.
That was Chen passing it to Chen Xiaojung. So Chen, number 4, will now head to the free throw line for 2 shots. Chichayananti will go to the bench, replaced by Mike Singletary. So just a brief rest for Singletary. That's in and out for Chen.
Has only seen action in 1 game prior to this one. So Coach Dean Murray going deep into his bench to try to find a spark here in the first quarter.
21-13. Mono Vampire still on top. 51 seconds remaining.
Full court pressure right now for the black shirts.
Seng Tong going baseline all the way to the hoop.
That's a nice move there for Seng Tong. Good recognition. Broke down the defense. Wide open drive. Wide open layup on the baseline.
Mono Vampire continuing their splendid play here in the first quarter. Half minute remaining. Tian Lei driving left. Tian Lei could not get the layup to go, but he draws the foul.
And if you're Tirawa Chantachon, you do not have to belly up on Tian Lei that far away from the basket, because that gives him the opportunity to beat you off the dribble, get you off balance. That time Chantachon forced to foul Tian Lei.
Tian Lei now at the free throw line. A good experienced player, as you were mentioning earlier. Former national team player of Taiwan, also played in the Chinese Basketball Association. And
he's a decent 3-point shooter.
Right. Also provides depth at the 4 spot for the Dreamers.
Another guy who knows his role. He knows that he's there to box out, rebound, play defense, and hit that occasional 3-point shot where he's 38% from downtown this season.
And it cuts the lead down to 8 points. About a second difference between the clocks here. Singletary, crossover, he fires. Singletary short, Miller with the rebound. 2 seconds remaining in the quarter. Woo Sung Wei, the fake, the shot, and the hoop. Wow, a 3-pointer to end the first for Woo Sung Wei.
Let's see if the referees are going to count that, but it looks good. And I thought Singletary took that shot just a couple of seconds too early. And that allowed the Dreamers another shot at the basket, which Woo Sung Wei capitalized on.
And they're still going to review it. That shot by Woo Sung Wei, but now it stands an 8-point advantage for Mono Vampire. A good start for the home team. We're going back with the second quarter of this game. You guys are watching the 9th season of the ASEAN Basketball League. Back to the action here, 23-18. So Woo Sung-wei's three-pointer actually counted at the end of the first quarter. So it's a 5-point lead for Mono Vampire here. And for the Formosa Dreamers, despite being down and despite the splendid play of Mono Vampire in the first, they're still within striking distance here, Marco.
That's right. Mono Vampire had a lead as big as 13 points, but I think crucial was that in the last 2 or 3 minutes when Coach Douglas Marty went with his bench players, they increased their number of turnovers, allowed Formosa Dreamers to mount a mini run to close out that first quarter, bring the lead down to 5 points. And it looks like the confidence is back here with the Dreamers.
Dreamers committed 6 turnovers in the first quarter alone. Good behind the back pass, but Chen is denied. Singletary on the move, and he's going to get fouled by Tien Lei in transition.
And again, Singletary this time, or in this game, looking a lot more decisive. There's that nice behind the back pass, but Chris Charles up to the task. Gets that block.
Chris Charles meeting him upstairs, the reigning co-defensive player of the year here in the ASEAN Basketball League. And this is Mike Singletary now at the free throw line. Singletary scored 8 points in the first frame, trying to get to double digits as early as 9:33 left here in the second quarter.
And again, in that first quarter when Brickman was on the floor, they only had 2 turnovers. But when Brickman checked out, 3 quick turnovers for the Mono Vampire squad. That allowed Formosa Dreamers to come back into the game.
So all-world imports back on the floor for Mono. Brickman, Singletary, Charles, Santong, and Moses Morgan. Here's Woo Sung-wei, wide open look. Could not make the shot. Singletary gets the board. And a foul on the rebound play. That's going to go against Chen.
That was a nice play run there. Ball screen between Chen and Malcolm Miller. That was a wide open Woo Sung-wei. Shooting 50% from long distance this season. It was pretty much the same average as last season.
But not shooting as many threes this year. Because of the more guys, more bodies in the lineup now of the Dreamers. Oh, good penetration. Singletary lays it up and in.
It's going to be very difficult to stop, especially when he gets that switch. That time it was Chen who was caught defending Mike Singletary.
So the lead is up to 9 points. Miller fires. That's too strong. And the rebound goes to Singletary.
And with Will Artino on the bench, Mono Vampire doing a good job limiting Formosa Dreamers to just 1 attempt at the basket.
And they take advantage of the absence of Will Artino down low. They go to Chris Charles, and he will be fouled on his way to the free throw line now.
You get the sense that Jason Brickman is becoming more and more comfortable playing with Chris Charles.
Yeah.
5 assists already for Jason Brickman in this game. They have 8 as a team on 9 field goals. So 8 assists, 9 field goals for the Mono Vampire as Clahan checks back into the game.
That is Chanachon Clahan, a veteran, mostly for, or is there for defensive purposes.
I'll check that. This is his first appearance in this game.
So Charles 1 out of 2. 5-0 start by Mono Vampire here in the second frame. Lee is back on the floor for the Dreamers. Lee Shuelin. He goes to Artino. They swing it to Kenny Chen, who is looking for Malcolm Miller. Instead, they get it to Lee. Here's the curling Miller. Got the fake. Nowhere to go here. 6 seconds to shoot. Glass loses it.
That's another good defensive stop here for the white shirts.
Singletary attacking Kenny Chen. Singletary just too strong for Kenny Chen.
And you know, Singletary a lot more decisive in this game. He's only attempted 2 3-point shots. Everything has been close to the basket.
And Mono Vampire 7-0 start here in the second quarter, allowing them to create a 12-point advantage.
We gotta keep the ball moving. Just everybody standing around. Come on, bro.
Back to the action here. ABL 9 matchup between the Mono Vampire versus the Formosa Dreamers. And 2 minutes gone here in the first or second quarter. The Mono Vampire now with a 12-point lead, 30-18. You got Martin Javier and Marco Benitez doing this game. Will Artino, well, makes his presence felt right away with the 2 points.
He's going to have to do a lot more of that. Only the 4th point of Will Artino. You saw the 3-point shooting on your screen, 37% for Mono Vampire, meanwhile 32% as Jason Brickman adds to that. First 3-pointer of the game for Brickman.
Brickman lets it fly. Second basket off the game for 5 points. Baseline move. Oh, that is stolen by Singletary. He is on the move. 2-on-2 break. Singletary on the reverse with the left hand.
Nice read of the defense there. He saw Tevin Glass going to make the shot block attempt. Goes to the other side and finishes with the offhand.
15-point lead for Mono Vampire. Tevin Glass. Kenny Chen surveying the floor. He's got the smaller Brickman on him. Kenny Chen tried to go into Lee, but again, passing lanes clogged by the Mono Vampire defense.
Singletary, a very underrated defender. That time, quick hands deflecting that pass on the penetration by Kenny Chen. Forces another turnover from the Dreamers.
Easily the best first half offensively for Mono Vampire in their first 5 games. Morgan to Clahan. He recovers. 10 seconds to shoot. Clahan loses the ball though on his way to the hoop.
Clahan finding himself outside his comfort zone as Kenny Chen goes strong to the basket.
No good on the double pump though. Singletary on the run. Ball is stripped. Recovered by Brickman. He will slow it down. Singletary fires from the left wing. Too strong. And Artino gets the rebound.
This is that solid interior presence that Will Artino provides when he is on the floor.
Malcolm Miller. He's got Clahan on him. Look at the defensive plan here. He goes to Artino. Will surveying the floor, goes to Kenny Chen. He moves closer. Pull-up jumper. It's off. And he gets the ball back though. But Singletary again stealing the ball away. Ahead to Clahan, who loses the ball.
Pass just a little bit too strong there for Mike Singletary, who got the steal because of his quick hands. He apologizes to Chanachon Clahan.
Here's the play earlier. Singletary getting the step. And the finish with the left hand high off the glass and in.
16 points in the first half for Mike Singletary. So well on his way.
Yeah.
To that 24-point output against the Dreamers.
They go to Tevin Glass here, who will get fouled. That's going to be against Sang Tong, I believe.
Tevin Glass just too quick for Sang Tong. Sang Tong forced to foul that penetration by Tevin Glass.
And so far, Marco B, Tevin Glass hasn't been a factor here in the first half. No points yet on the board. He's only taken 2 shots so far.
Well, you have to give a lot of credit to the half-court defense of the Mono Vampire squad. They're switching on the perimeter. They're closing out on the shooters. That time, Singletary forced to help on the penetration, leaving Malcolm Miller wide open for the 3.
And that's a fire extinguisher for Malcolm Miller to cut the lead down to 12, 35-23. Back to our coverage here of ABL 9 matchup between Mono Vampire and the Formosa Dreamers. Almost halfway done here in the second frame. Mono Vampire still maintaining that 12-point advantage, 35-23. And again, I will keep mentioning this, Marco, because this is easily the best offensive half for Mono Vampire so far this year.
That's going to be a turnover there for Jason Brickman. And one of the things that you have to credit for this great first half by the Vampire is the rebounding. They're out-rebounding the Dreamers 12-10. Although none of those 12 rebounds have come from the offensive glass.
So let's see how the Dreamers will respond. But approaching 5 minutes left here in the second quarter, they go to Artino. Outside, oh, great bounce pass and the dunk by Malcolm Miller.
That's a nice V-cut there by Malcolm Miller, faking to go outside and then cuts baseline. And a nice bounce pass there.
Singletary unable to answer. Glass with the rebound. Formosa Dreamers on the run again.
And you know, Artino has done a great job boxing out Chris Charles. 0 offensive rebounds, as we've mentioned. Just 1 attempt at the basket there for the Vampire.
1 and done possession for Mono Vampire. Malcolm Miller kicking it out. Woo Sung Wei drops it in.
5 straight points for the Dreamers. Breakdown of the Vampire defense results in baskets for the guys in black.
Here's the offense of the Formosa Dreamers clicking now. It's down to a 7-point lead. Timeout on the floor.
Chasing the rhythm. You be on 30. We got 2 side here. All right.
Back to our coverage here before the timeout. It's a 5-0 run by the Formosa Dreamers. 1 dunk from Malcolm Miller, who now has 12 points in the game. And the other basket was a 3-pointer from the corner for Woo Sung Wei. Now that is an answer coming from Mike Singletary, who is still on fire in the first half.
But you know, Martin, that 3-point shot from Woo Sung Wei also coming off an assist from Malcolm Miller. So now Coach Douglas Marty going back to Singletary on Malcolm Miller because Apiro Milaichai had his hands full and could not defend against Malcolm Miller, resulting in those 5 points.
That's right, Singletary now covering Miller. Pass deflected from behind. Seng Tong tapping it out of bounds. A second to shoot for the Dreamers.
And if you will remember, Singletary was the primary defender on Miller in the first quarter, and he was able to limit Miller. All right, but those 5 points coming off a basket from Miller and an assist to Woo Sung Wei.
So 37-28. Here's the inbound. Woo Sung Wei looking for Tevin Glass. And that's going to be off. Brickman quickly on the other side now. Brickman against Chen here. Serving the floor will slow it down for Mono. Using the Charles screen. Brickman. Bounce pass. They kick it out. Aperon Vilaichai. They go inside. Chris Charles nowhere to go. And a traveling infraction called against Chris Charles.
And, you know, that's great defense. Great half-court defense there for the Dreamers. Mono Vampire tried to be patient, found Chris Charles inside the paint, but the defense all of a sudden collapsed and no room for Chris Charles to operate. Instead, commits the turnover.
So now they're adjusting to the inside game of Mono Vampire. Malcolm Miller now. Tevin Glass from straight away. That short Singletary skying high for that rebound.
There's a 2-man game that they like to run between Malcolm Miller and Will Artino. Oh, that's going to be a foul on Jason Brickman. Looks like he got Tevin Glass in the face.
Yeah, Tevin Glass right now still on the floor here. And Brickman will be called for the personal foul. 37-28. That is the count still in the second quarter here. 3 minutes, 5 seconds remaining.
Glass still scoreless in this game in 12 minutes.
That's
0
right.
of 3 from the field.
That was the poke earlier by Jason Brickman. So play continues here. And Malcolm Miller, they go to Chen, who is the secondary point guard of this team. He will be going head-to-head with Jason Brickman now. Bounce pass. Oh, Woo Sung Wei gets denied.
Gonna get a help defense of Chris Charles.
Singletary. They go to Brickman. Wide open look.
This will be short.
Woo Sung Wei snatching the rebound. He will retreat to Malcolm Miller. Chen attacks, gives it off to Artino. On the run and all the way to the basket there.
And there you see how much of a veteran point guard that Chen is. Knowing his spots, saw that he was open for a split second, penetrates, collapses the defense, and then finds a streaking Will Artino for the layup.
And that cuts the lead down to 7 points. 37-30. Singletary. The pass to Charles. Saintong, or Chantachon rather, losing it. Charles will recover, but misses the shot.
Big hands there from Tevin Glass, getting that deflection or getting that swipe.
So the Dreamers with a chance to do an uprising here in the first half. Glass kicks it out. Artino, the open look. No good on the free. Singletary with the rebound. Mono has numbers. Singletary attacks. No good. And Dreamers quickly the other way. Glass. Oh, tried to stuff it home.
No call there by the referee. Glass had bad intentions.
Malcolm Miller attacking and scoring for the Dreamers.
That's a great decision there from Malcolm Miller. Had the initial look from the three-point land, but decides to go for the higher percentage basket.
Don't look now. It's just a 5-point game, 37-32. And the Formosa Dreamers, after a slow start here in the second frame, they've matched the output of Mono Vampire at 14 apiece. Here's the missed dunk earlier by Tevin Glass in transition. But Malcolm Miller able to recover and get the basket as well.
Chantachon that time providing just enough challenge
Right.
to force the miss from Tevin Glass.
So a minute and 19 remaining in the first half. You got Chris Charles now against the smaller Chen Lei. And an offensive foul called against Charles. Good sticky defense by Tian Lei.
Got caught with the elbow to the face of Tian Lei. There you see the defense, or the quality defense that Tian Lei and the other supporting players of the Dreamers provide off the bench.
And the Dreamers, Marco B, they just won't go away here in the first half. Creating a run, cutting the lead down to 5. Moses Morgan back on the floor. And here is Chen. He will set the table now for Formosa. Chen faking, giving out to Glass. Glass, they go out to Miller, who fires and hits.
That's another basket for Malcolm Miller, third three-pointer of the game. And this is the big difference from the Dreamers of last season.
Right.
Almost no wasted possessions for them. They almost always get a quality look at the basket. This early, as Moses Morgan hits his first three-pointer of the game. Much needed basket here for Mono Vampire.
Wow. Three-pointer for three-pointer. Under a minute left here in the first half. Chen kicking it out to Woo Sung Wei. Knocks it down.
Third three-pointer of the game for Woo Sung Wei. If you can hit it, I can hit it as well, says Woo Sung Wei.
Wow. A shootout at the latter part of the first half. 14 seconds remaining. Jason Brickman. Chantachon waiting to set that screen. Brickman behind the back dribble. 3 seconds to shoot. Brickman the scoop. That is deflected by Tian Lei. 0.7 seconds remaining in the first half.
They're going to have enough time for a catch and shoot here. You have to be careful with the lob for Chris Charles. Oh, sorry, Charles is not on the floor.
So here's Brickman. He will trigger it in. Oh, what a play! Oh, Singletary just misses the gimme there. And we end the first half with the Dreamers making a humongous run to cut the lead down to 2 points, 40-38. We've got halftime stats and analysis coming your way. Your ASEAN Basketball League. We'll be right back. We are back to our coverage here of your ASEAN Basketball League Season number 9 and matchup again between Mono Vampire and the visiting Formosa Dreamers of Taiwan live inside Stadium 29. And at halftime, it is Mono Vampire maintaining the 2-point lead 40-38 as we continue to see the highlights of the first half. A big factor of that run by the Formosa Dreamers is the splendid play of Malcolm Miller, and of course the 3-point sniping as well by Woo Sung Wei, who contributed a lot of points off the bench for the Dreamers.
Woo Sung Wei coming out with 9 points off the bench on 3 out of 5 from the field, 3 out of 4 from long distance. And one of the keys we talked about at the start of the game is for Mono to defend the perimeter shooting of the Dreamers, and whenever they can connect from the outside, Dreamers will always be in contention, as what we saw in that second quarter.
And what we're seeing from them, especially towards the end of the first half, just patient ball movement, patient offense, seeing the open guy on the floor, and that almost instantly creates points for them. And we continue to see the highlights here. That was the great move by Mike Singletary, getting the step and kissing it off the glass and in. Mike Singletary with 18 points in the first half, although he could not finish the last play, the last basket. That would have made it rather a 4-point advantage for Mono. Instead, they grabbed the 2-point lead 40-38. And other leading scorers here for Mono Vampire following Mike Singletary is Moses Morgan with 8 points, 3 out of 5 shooting, and Chris Charles with 7 points. And interestingly, Marco B, only 1 rebound for Chris Charles in the first half, as we see here the stats of the first 2 quarters of play.
Almost equal for both squads. 10 assists for Mono Vampire, 12 for the Dreamers. Turnovers also equal, 10 apiece. And the blocks 2 for Mono Vampire, 1 for the Dreamers. But field goal percentage going the way of Mono Vampire, 53% compared to 40%. And one of the good signs for the Mono Vampire is that Moses Morgan has come out better, shooting 8 points in that first half, 3 out of 5 for the field, 2 out of 4 from long distance. They're going to need his outside sniping if they're going to contend here in Season 9.
Turnovers at par there, 10 all. And the Dreamers, though, cutting their turnovers to 4 in the second frame. Mono Vampire, though, 53% from the field. Again, one of their best performances in one half so far in the 5 games they have played this season. And we'll see what will be the adjustment from both coaches as we go to the second half. Once again, this is the game between the Mono Vampire, the home team today, going up against the Formosa Dreamers at halftime. Mono Vampire up 40-38. Second half action coming your way. We head back to the action here in the ASEAN Basketball League. Second half is almost underway. You guys are watching season number 9. And again, it is Mono Vampire going up against the Formosa Dreamers. The Dreamers, the only undefeated, unblemished team here in the league at 6-0 so far in the standings. And Mono Vampire still looking for their first victory of the season after starting the year at 0-4. My name is Martin Javier and working alongside Marco Benitez in this game. Live once again here at Stadium 29 in Bangkok, Thailand. Marco B, here is the scoring of the first half. And despite, again, the slow start of the Formosa Dreamers in the second quarter, Mono actually got off to a 12-2 start in that second frame. They were still able to outscore Mono Vampire 20-17 to cut the lead down to 2.
And I'm sure one of the talking points of Coach Douglas Marty in that halftime dugout is the three-point shooting of the Formosa Dreamers. Right now, 7 of 15 for 46%. And it has been because of that ball screen defense or that ball screen attack, the two-man game attack of the Formosa Dreamers that have created those open looks. So whether it's Malcolm Miller using that ball screen or Chen who has been using that ball screen, creating those penetrations and forcing the defense to collapse and then finding those open shooters. Sometimes it's Miller, sometimes it's Woo Sung Wei. And when they actually lead the Mono Vampire in terms of assists here in the first half, 12-10. Meanwhile, for Coach Dean Murray, I'm sure that he's not happy about the 17 fast break points of the Mono Vampire squad. They do not want to get into a foot race here with a home team.
Mono Vampire forcing 10 turnovers on Formosa in the first half, and they will force the miss here against Mono Vampire. Malcolm Miller quickly to Artino inside. The turn kicks it out to Lee, who will settle his troops down. Here is Kenny Chen working against Singletary now. Penetrates. They kick it back out again. Great defense being played by Mono, but they will call the bailout foul here against Apiron Vilaychai.
And again, once again, we go back to that matchup between Malcolm Miller and Apiron Vilaychai. I've yet to see whether Apiron Vilaychai can really hold his own here against Malcolm Miller. You have to remember that second quarter when it was Apiron Vilaychai picking up Malcolm Miller, it resulted in 5 straight points for the Dreamers. And that started their mini run.
That's right. That's why Coach Douglas Marty put Mike Singletary in some stretches on Malcolm Miller. But Miller, big first half for him, 17 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. Just getting involved in almost every possession for the Formosa Dreamers, either assisting or scoring for Formosa.
Malcolm Miller, not really a fancy type of player, but just doing a lot of things efficiently, a lot of things effectively, whether it's using that ball screen, spotting up for that outside shot, or finding Will Artino or his other shooters rolling or popping out.
Malcolm Miller converting onto free throws. We are tied here, 40 apiece.
And he's also a solid free throw shooter right now, 4 out of 5 from the stripe.
Morgan attacking the scoop and the hoop for Moses Morgan.
Moses Morgan a lot more aggressive here in the second matchup against the Dreamers. 10 points already for Morgan.
And Moses quickly breaks the tie, 42-40. Malcolm Miller on the step back J. That's too strong. And Moses with the rebound.
Again, that's better defense there from Apiron Vilaychai, staying in front and forcing Miller to that fadeaway jump shot.
Singletary looking for Charles, gets it to him. They go to Singletary underneath. Who will score inside?
Nice entry pass. Nice two-man action there between Chris Charles and Mike Singletary. Singletary with the first entry pass and then cuts to the basket, takes advantage of the mismatch.
So better flow on the offensive end for Mono Vampire to begin the second half. Here is Tian Lei for 3. That rolls out. Oh, Tevin Glass retrieving the basketball and another crack at the basket for the Dreamers.
And that shot was in and out for Tian Lei. And that is the type of offense that the Dreamers run, isolating those two players as Kenny Chen. Soft touch, soft bounce there.
How about that basket from Kenny Chen? Creating it off the dribble and cutting the lead down to 2. Brickman to Morgan. Long three-pointer. That's too strong. Apiron Vilaychai tapping it out to Singletary. A fresh 14 for Mono. And they're going to call the foul here. And Kenny Chen actually had something to say to Singletary.
Did not appreciate the shove there of Mike Singletary.
7:49 remaining here in the third quarter. 4-2, yeah.
I'm sure Mike Singletary remembers the defense that Kenny Chen played against him back in Taiwan.
Yeah. Chris Charles inside against Tian Lei. Chris Charles could not get the shot to drop. And we have another foul here against the Formosa Dreamers.
And that's good activity there by Apiram Vilaichai, getting them a second chance opportunity. Remember, he was the one who made that tap to the outside.
Yeah.
And then that time was the one who got that offensive rebound and drew the foul against Miller.
And a rare second possession for Mono Vampire. They've had limited offensive rebounds in this game. Chris Charles kicking it out. Moses to Palm Apiram Vilaichai.
Must be another foul on the penetration. Kenny Chen. So for Kenny Chen, that's going to be his fourth personal foul. So that's a big development.
That's right.
Because he is their primary defender against Mike Singletary. So now you're going to have Woo Sung Wei and Lee in the backcourt.
A smaller backcourt now for the Formosa Dreamers. Oh, Charles loses it. Malcolm Miller. He is on the move. Miller, deflected from behind by Moses Morgan.
And the problem with this lineup for the Dreamers is you force Malcolm Miller to be the primary defender against Mike Singletary. There's that block there coming from Moses Morgan from behind.
Miller off the inbound. It's good.
Miller so deadly from the outside. 4 out of 5. 80% from long distance. And there's another foul as Singletary attacks his defender and goes strong to the basket.
And after the Dreamers got back the lead 45-44, the quick answer by Singletary on the other end plus the foul. That was the strong move. All brawn for Mike Singletary on his way to the hoop.
That's going to be the third personal foul on Malcolm Miller. So you can be sure that Mono Vampire will try to go once again into Singletary and try to force him or draw that fourth personal against the Formosa import.
7 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. Michael Singletary has 20 points in this basketball game. An efficient 8 out of 14 from the field with 9 rebounds across his name. And is actually the leading rebounder right now for Mono.
This season, Singletary averaging 27 and a quarter points per game. Go along with 10.75 rebounds per contest.
And he could not complete the three-point play. That's his second missed free throw this afternoon.
And look how far Chris Charles is picking up Tian Lei.
That's right. Tian Lei off the step back. That jumper is good.
That's a tough step back shot there over the 7-footer.
And we have a seesaw battle here in the third. Dreamers, they get the lead back 47-46. Mike Singletary working on Miller. Off the spin, Singletary on the attack.
And again, good recognition on the foul situation. 3 fouls on Malcolm Miller. They isolate the left side for Singletary.
Lee retreating. Miller, he's got Singletary on him. Miller.
That's great defense there from Singletary.
Better coverage now by Mono. Oh, Kevin Glass, difficult shot, goes in.
That's great defense from Mono Vampire, but just better offense.
Singletary, the kick out. Morgan penetrating, no good on the shot. Could not get the rebound. Tian Lei gets it. And here is Lee now bringing the ball down.
It looks like both teams are getting exhausted here in the third quarter as the pace of the game has really picked up.
You got Tian Lei looking for Malcolm Miller. They kick it out to Tevin Glass. Glass attacking Morgan. And that's a foul on Moses Morgan with 4 seconds remaining on the shot clock of the Formosa Dreamers.
And with Malcolm Miller a little unsuccessful against the defense of Mike Singletary, now's the time for Tevin Glass to really assert himself, as he has only scored 2 points on 1 of 6 from the field.
That's right, he's been a non-factor so far talking about Tevin Glass, and Chris Charles will go to the bench for a bit.
You know, Martin, one thing that is interesting is that Will Artino has only played 16 and a half minutes.
Right. He's played limited minutes here for Coach Dean Murray.
Despite the fact that he only has one personal foul.
49-48. 8 seconds remaining. And the shot clock off the Dreamers. They go to Malcolm Miller again on the cut, denied by Morgan.
And that's great help defense there from Jason Brickman. The awareness of the situation, the dwindling shot clock, forces that slight fumble there on the part of Malcolm Miller, just enough time for Moses Morgan to recover and get the block.
So about a second remaining here on the shot clock. Catch and shoot, Woo Sung Wei. Could not hit it. And here comes Jason Brickman. Stop shoots from 3, it's good!
Jason Brickman, so deadly. That's his second three-pointer of the game.
8 points now for Jason Brickman. Malcolm Miller, that's right.
Go along with 8 assists.
Lee penetrating, moves closer, no good on the jump shot. Here's Tevin Glass working hard down low, could not make it. Mike Singletary forcing the issue, and he successfully draws the foul.
Singletary putting his head down, trying to go coast to coast. 24 points right now for Singletary, 9 rebounds, 3 steals.
Just a man on a mission here inside Stadium 29. 4:47 remaining here. 2-point game. Mono Vampire still on top, 51-49. Back to the ball game here, under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Singletary at the free throw line. It's 51-49 for Mono Vampire, and he will split the free throws to get them the 3-point advantage. But the Formosa Dreamers have kept themselves within striking distance in this one. Only a possession.
Chen is, well, actually, Chen and Kenny Chen are back in the game together with Woo Sung Wei. So no Tevin Glass or no Malcolm Miller on the floor. It's Tevin Glass as the only import. Chichai fakes, attacking the Euro, does not work. Oh, what a putback there by Moses Morgan. 12 points in the game for Moses Morgan. Much better outing for him. This is a far better cushion now for Mono Vampire. 5-point lead, 54-49. Morgan, as you mentioned, is in double figures with 12 markers. And Tevin Glass attacking the defense of Mike Singletary. And Singletary will be called for the personal. That's his second foul. Chris Charles coming back in. There's still no sign of Will Artino, who has played less than 30 minutes, or less than 20 minutes, 16 and a half to be exact. So I don't know if there's something ailing him or he has a slight injury. Normally he averages above 30 minutes per ball game.
Last week he scored 26 and 19. And that's a miss for Woo Sung Wei. We go the other way. Singletary all the way to the basket.
Yeah, make that 27 points right now for Mike Singletary, who is just having his way here in the third quarter.
And a quick timeout called by the Formosa Dreamers. 3:46 remaining in the third period. Back to the action here in Stadium 29, resuming our coverage of the ABL 9 of Vampire versus Dreamers. 7-point lead put up by Mono Vampire.
Double-double already put up by Mike Singletary, 27 points, 12 rebounds. Tian Lei misses on that jump shot. Still no Will Artino on the floor as Chris Charles trying to get post position against Tian Lei.
He will take advantage here. The help there by Kenny Chen. Oh, great ball movement from Mono Vampire. Morgan on the pull-up jumper. That's too strong. Good tap from Kevin Glass to get it to Miller.
And Marco Miller now back in the game. They need his scoring here as they are down by 7 points.
3 minutes remaining in the third frame. Glass.
Now it's going to be another quick foul there on Singletary. So that's going to be his third. So both those, his last 2 fouls have come courtesy of Kevin Glass.
Picking up 2 quick fouls here in the third quarter is Mike Singletary. And here's the attack by Tevin Glass. Wise move to attack Mike Singletary there. Chen will get it in.
So now Coach Douglas Marty puts Saintong back in the game to defend Tevin Glass.
Glass kicking it out. Kenny Chen blowing by Ananti.
Oh, that looked like a good block coming from Chichai Ananti. I don't know if one of his teammates got Kenny Chen in front.
And you see the reaction right after by Chichai. Felt like he got all ball on that sequence. So Kenny Chen will now go to the free throw line. This is his first trip this afternoon. He's only scored 2 points, going 1 out of 4 from the field.
And so far it's been a far cry from his 13-point output in their last meeting in Taiwan, as he has been plagued by foul trouble for personal fouls for Kenny Chen.
I'm actually surprised that he is back on the floor here for the Dreamers. So Jason Brickman will bring the ball down.
This is the horn set that they like to run.
Brickman again! From 3-point country, Jason Brickman connects.
Now with Jason Brickman, you pick your poison. If you go over that screen, he's going to turn the corner, force the defense to collapse, find an open shooter. If you go under, you force him to take the shot, and you live with the result.
Here's Jason Brickman again. Leaves it off to Chris Charles on the roll.
Assist number 9 for Jason Brickman, resulting in 2 points for Chris Charles in transition.
Now the lead is up to 10 points again, 61-51. Dreamers looking for answers. They go to Chen outside. He's guarded by Charles. Chen. Charles kicking it out. Chen for 3. That's good.
What a bailout shot there from Kenny Chen. Broken play, nothing happening in the half court for them. And a nice kick out coming from Chen.
cuts the lead down to 7 points. So Kenny Chen, 5 points in this stretch for the Dreamers. Brickman on the floater. Brickman no good. Rebound there by Sangtong. Chichayananti penetrates. Teardrop is good.
And credit half that basket to Saigon, who got them the second chance opportunity. And this is what we talked about when we said that they're going to need the local support. That's going to be a foul on Sangtong.
Trying to get the steal from the back, but you're right. Coach Douglas working with a deeper rotation this afternoon.
And the nice thing about that is that none of his players have played more than 30 minutes in this game. You have Singletary, who has played the most number of minutes with 28.
And this is Kevin Glass. Back to the free throw line here. Glass, that's his 3rd point off the game. Again, averaging about 17 points per contest.
So far, Mono has done a good job limiting the other players of the Dreamers. Nobody else in double figures aside from Malcolm Miller, who has 22.
So 7-point lead. Brickman using that Charles Green. That's another pick. Oh, good baseline move.
And Chichayananti losing the handle. And quickly admits that it was his mistake, as that was an excellent bounce pass coming from Brickman.
Under a minute remaining here in the 3rd frame, 57.7 seconds to be exact. Chen bringing the ball down. He is guarded full court by Jason Brickman. He will survey the floor here. Calling the shots is Chen. Chen will attack. Will roll around. Oh, the deflection from Brickman. One-on-one against Jian Lei. He will go to Chichai with a basket in transition.
And this is where Mono is at his best. Getting those turnovers and then scoring in transition.
Back to a 9-point lead. Chen goes back out. He's guarded by Charles again. They will go to Tevin Glass with 10 seconds to shoot. Glass penetrating, using his quickness against Chris Charles and drawing the foul.
And that foul is once again going to go against Sangtong, who got Glass at the back of the head. Malcolm Miller back in the game for them, as Mono Vampire has outscored the Dreamers 23-18 here. Or make that 25-18 in the 3rd.
Big 3rd quarter for Mono Vampire. And Chris Charles will now go to the bench, take a quick rest. Kerawachan Tachon back on the floor. And Tevin Glass at the free throw line again. Even at the free throw line, he is struggling.
As a team, Formosa Dreamers are 11 of 14. Mono Vampire is 7 of 11.
So 65-57. About 13 seconds remaining here in the 3rd. Jason Brickman calls up the last play of the 3rd. Brickman. He's up against Glass now. 2 seconds to work with. Brickman fires. Brickman knocks it down.
So smooth. Jason Brickman, perfect clock management.
Wow. Jason Brickman at the buzzer, extending the lead to 11 points, 68-57. At the end of the 3rd, Mono Vampire back on top big. Backdoor coverage here, and fourth quarter is underway. You guys are watching the ASEAN Basketball League. We are live here at Stadium 29 in Bangkok, Thailand. Home team up by 11 points, 68-57. You guys got Martin Javier, Marco Benitez working on this game. And again, a big third quarter, Marco B by Mono Vampire to create the spread.
And safe to say Jason Brickman has erupted in this ball game. 4 3-pointers already, 14 points, and one of the key figures, one of the key reasons why Mono Vampires outscored the Dreamers 27-5 in terms of fast break points, and Chichayananti joining the party here.
And the Formosa Dreamers will turn the ball over on the other end.
Stellar 50% three-point shooting, as that's another turnover for the Dreamers. That's turnover number 13.
Wow.
For a team that has a combined 12 turnovers the past 2 games.
So clearly a different Mono Vampire we are seeing here at home, looking for their first victory of the season.
And I think one of the reasons is that Mono Vampire has stuck to their man-to-man defense the entire ball game, as compared to their previous meeting where there were stretches where they played that 2-3 zone and in which the Dreamers burned them from the outside.
That's right. So better adjustment here altogether for Mono Vampire. A 14-point lead, 8:55 remaining in the game. And Lee will now go to Tian Lei, who is guarded by Chantachon. Kevin Glass, who's been a non-factor so far, will attack. And ball is tapped from behind by Jason Brickman. Ball will remain with the Dreamers with 12 seconds to work with.
And I think the big problem as well for the Dreamers is with Will Artino not on the floor, they lose one integral part of their offense, because he is such a threat from the outside, especially when he is the one setting that ball screen. That's going to be another turnover, 5-second violation on that inbounds.
Formosa Dreamers looking rattled here in the fourth period, turning the ball over there. 71-57. You're right, Will Artino only playing 16 and a half minutes in this one.
And I don't think he has seen action the entire second half.
Yeah. Lee will steal the ball away from Singletary. So the Dreamers will go the other way. Tian Lei firing from 3. That's too strong. And here comes Mono again. They'll leave it to Brickman.
Chichayananti has been great off the bench for them.
Speaking of, here's Chichai. No good. Saintong hustling, or Chantachon rather, hustling for that offensive rebound. Brickman, guarded by the taller Tevin Glass. 6 seconds to work with. Glass with a steal.
Trying to dribble through traffic there was Jason Brickman.
Malcolm Miller. Woo Sung Wei guarded closely by Chichayananti. Malcolm Miller. He's got the smaller Brickman on him. Miller on the attack. He scores.
That was a great crossover there against the smaller Jason Brickman. And then the explosion from Malcolm Miller.
And a quick timeout by Coach Douglas Marty as the Dreamers cut the lead down to 12, 71-59. Back to the action here. And again, it is a 12-point advantage for Mono Vampire. 24 big points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists for Malcolm Miller. The only problem is he's the only player in double figures for Formosa. Following him is Kenny Chen, or Woo Sung Wei rather, with 9 points.
And the problem with that as well is that he's only scored 6 points here in the second half. 7 points in the second half. 17 of those 24 points coming way back in the first half, as he has been saddled with foul trouble. 4 personal fouls already for Malcolm Miller.
7:23 remaining. Formosa Dreamers called for the personal foul. So Mono Vampire with the possession here. Brickman on the penetration again. Just a masterful move by Brickman.
Brickman's so good at putting the deep. Once he has the defender behind him, putting him on his back pocket, and then using his body to shield the ball and finishing with that layup.
And Marco B, Jason Brickman in scoring mode in this game. Kevin Glass looking for his teammates. Gets it out to Miller. 2 seconds to shoot. Miller puts it up and puts it in.
What a basket there for Malcolm Miller, bailing them out.
So again, an answer from Malcolm Miller, who is now up to 27 points.
Keeps them within striking distance, just down by 11 with still 6.5 minutes remaining.
Jason Brickman working on Miller. Using that screen, Brickman penetrates. Goes to Ananti on the cut, and he will lose the ball to Woo Sung Wei.
Nowhere to go there for Chichai Ananti, so good defense coming from the Dreamers. Got to be careful here with Malcolm Miller looking to attack.
And a foul before the attempt from Malcolm Miller. But Malcolm Miller, you can feel that he is taking over for the Formosa Dreamers here.
Well, he is going to have to, because it looks like Will Artino will not be seeing action once back in this game.
Hasn't played in the second half.
Kevin Glass has struggled so far.
Woo Sung Wei, catch and shoot, knocks it down again.
And this is one guy who has not struggled at all. Enters double figures with 12 points right now. 4th three-pointer of the game for Woo Sung Wei.
And he cuts the lead down to 8 points. We got a ball game here in Stadium 29. Apiron Vilaychay, they swing it to Brickman. Open look. No good. Oh, Moses Morgan diving for it. But Chen somehow gets it.
And that was great extra effort there from Tevin Glass.
Oh, good strip on his way down for Darongpan. Apiron Vilaychay
has always been known as an excellent perimeter defender. Apiron Vilaychay using those quick hands to get a hand on that basketball.
Preventing also the easy 2 points for the Formosa Dreamers. And Chen Lei back on the floor. He's played well. He will replace Chen here. So 20 seconds, a lot of time to work with for the Dreamers.
And it seems that the Mono Vampire can smell victory here. But they have to be careful, because this is a good outside shooting team, so they can get back in a hurry.
With a basket here, they could actually make this a 2-possession game. Tian Lei fires. Short on the 3. Morgan gets the board.
I think that was partially deflected by Singletary.
Morgan on the move. Oh, flips it up and in.
And I like the mindset of Moses Morgan in this game, attacking the basket. That's his 14th point of the game.
And that's a much-needed basket for Mono Vampire. That will stretch the lead up to 10 points now.
He has already doubled his output from their meeting last Sunday.
Good bounce-back game for Moses Morgan. Tian Lei on the move. He will attack Apiron Vilaychay.
And Apiron Vilaychay just a step late to that help side defense. If he had gotten Tian Lei right smack in the middle of his chest, probably would have been able to draw the charge.
Here's the layup earlier. Moses Morgan going coast to coast, laying it up and in, extending the lead to 10 points. And the big miss at the free throw line for Tian Lei.
And if Moses Morgan can play consistently at this level, he's going to be a big boost for the Mono Vampire squad, because this is one of the reasons why he was brought in here, coming from the Saigon Heat. Not only is he able to play as a local in terms of eligibility, but in terms of scoring, he can score as well as the other imports in the league.
Known as an outside shooter for the Saigon Heat. Singletary on the cut. Wow, the connection of Jason Brickman and Mike Singletary has been in full effect in this game.
3 times a charm in this ball game for that backdoor bounce pass.
Woo Sung Wei moving closer, ball stolen away. 2-on-1 break, Singletary all the way to the hoop. Quick 2 points for Mono.
And with 4 fouls, Malcolm Miller with token challenge there against that 2-on-1.
A big lead for the home squad, Mono Vampire Basketball Club. 79-65, under 5 minutes remaining here in the fourth. Back on the floor here in Stadium 29 off the timeout. 14-point lead for Mono Vampire, the home team. And in 5 games, they're finally starting to find the answers here in the fourth quarter against Formosa.
And I think one of the keys here, Martin, for Mono Vampire is they were able to control the pace of this game. 31 fast break points for Mono Vampire.
So here is Lee. Chen Lei putting that one up. Lee getting the offensive rebound and a fresh 14.
And of course, you cannot discount the fact that Will Ardino has played sparingly in this game. So if he had been healthy or he had seen action in the second half, things could have been different here for the Dreamers.
That's right. Singletary fires and hits.
Trying to put the nail in the coffin here is Mike Singletary. Goes up to 34 big points.
And Mono Vampire with their biggest lead of the game, 82-65. 3.5 minutes remaining in the contest. Kenny Chen trying to answer, no good. And ball will go the other way. Mono Vampire smelling their first victory of season number 9.
And ever since that second game when they made that big change to Chris Charles, they started to get that chemistry going. They figured in close matches against this team. They lost by 5 points.
Yeah.
And against the CLS Knights, also losing by 5 points. And right now, looking poised to get that first win of the season, up by 19.
And Chris Charles adding to that, 84-65. Tevin Glass missing from downtown. Kenny Chen getting it back. The floater that rattles in and out. And Chris Charles battling for the rebound against Tevin Glass. And it's last touch on Tevin. Charles with 11 points today.
Another thing you have to credit, it has been the defense of Mono Vampire. They have limited Formosa Dreamers to just 65 points for a team that averages 84 points per game. So that's a minus 19. While they themselves have scored 84.
And a traveling infraction first called against Mono Vampire. That is Kawachai Suktub with a turnover. And check this, Marco. Dreamers have only scored 27 points in the second half.
Yep, and they've also committed 16 turnovers. Remember, 12 turnovers total their last 2 games. Right now, 16 turnovers, resulting in 17 turnover points for Mono Vampire.
Dreamers on the attack again. Chen getting the offensive rebound. And here is Tevin, mid-range jumper. Still off. Chen skying for the rebound and the putback. And approaching 2 minutes left. 17-point lead. Jason Brickman still on the floor for Mono Vampire. Moses Morgan attacking, doesn't score off the glass.
Moses Morgan definitely one of the heroes of this ball game, not only because of his aggressive offense, has 14 points, but also played great defense against Tevin Glass. And he limited Tevin Glass to just 5 points on 1 of 10 from the field. They're going to need Moses Morgan for this run.
So, Marco B, it looks like at their 5th game of the season, as we see here, the turnover committed earlier by Suktub. Looks like Mono Vampire has figured things out, especially in closing out in the 4th quarter.
Definitely going to be a big win for him, for Mono Vampire,
That's
especially against the number 1 team in the league so far. So they're going to go up to 1-4, as Formosa Dreamers will drop to 6-1. And with 26 games, it's still a long season. So Coach Douglas Martin making the right adjustments. And I'm sure he's hoping that they have finally turned the corner.
And the locals having a little bit of fun there. The shimmy from Suktub, 86-67, a minute and a half remaining. Tevin Glass attacking, working hard down low, gets the foul on Moses Morgan. And if you're the Formosa Dreamers, a tough game without Willard Tino in the second half, but a good learning experience for them.
That's
because
right.
it's better to lose now rather than at the later part of the season, part of the season.
In terms of schedule for Mono Vampire, they're going to be facing the Saigon Heat next on Saturday, and then followed by Hong Kong Eastern. That's going to be the first game of 2019. And then the Saigon Heat once again before they face the CLS Knights. That's their next 4 games. While for the Formosa Dreamers, schedule does not get any easier for them.
But they've beaten some good teams already.
They play San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. That's going to be on Friday. And then the CLS Knights, followed by the Singapore Slingers, and then the Macau Black Bears.
Wow.
So, remember, Formosa Dreamers in a very tough group. Grouped together with San Miguel Alab Pilipinas,
Hong Kong Eastern,
Macau Black Bears,
Wolf Warriors as
Wolf
well.
Warriors.
That is off. And we're just waiting for the final score here. Under a minute remaining. Still a 17-point advantage for Mono Vampire. Good pass inside. Chen will finish. 48.2. And this is a done deal.
And you know, how about Jason Brickman Martin? 16 points, 4 of 7 from the 3-point line, 14 big assists.
Yeah.
14 of the team's 24 assists, courtesy of Jason Brickman, who has really become more comfortable playing with Chris Charles.
And that's Sutton City with the basket. Crowd erupting after that one. 89-71. Great performance all around by Mono Vampire. And this is the old Mono Vampire that we know. That the one that finished in second place last season.
The one that likes to run, likes to
Right.
play at a fast pace, likes to shoot from the outside.
And the gamble on using the other local players for Coach Douglas Marty actually paid off.
That's right.
A second remaining here, 0.8. And a victory, first one of the season for Mono Vampire here at home, 89-74. They now go up to 1-4 in season number 9. On the other hand, they will hand the Formosa Dreamers their first loss of the season. Dreamers will fall to 6-1. Still not the top of our team standings though, but that will be their first loss of the year.
And we talked about the keys of the game. Number 1 was they limited the perimeter scoring. They limited the scorers of the Formosa Dreamers. It was pretty much just Malcolm Miller. They scored as well from the outside. 10 3-point shots converted for the Mono Vampire, and they shared the basketball excellently. 25 assists for Mono Vampire. And of course, the big game for Mike Singletary.
Wow.
34 points, 12 rebounds.
So one player in double figures, as you mentioned, for the Formosa Dreamers, only Malcolm Miller with 27 points. A balanced scoring attack on the other hand for Mono Vampire, led by Mike Singletary, getting the layup there, 34 points. And that's followed by Jason Brickman with 16 points and 14 big assists. And Moses Morgan contributing 14. Chris Charles, 11. So 4 players in double digits for Mono Vampire today. And this is the attack earlier by Kenny Chen. He was in foul trouble for the most part of this game. Only scored 7 points. Woo Sung Wei contributing. Big 2 players rather in double figures for the Dreamers. Woo Sung Wei, the second one with 12 points. And this is Chichai Ananti. 14 bench points for Mono Vampire today. Big help to complement the play of Jason Brickman and Mike Singletary. And as we see there, Malcolm Miller, one-man show for the Formosa Dreamers. This is going to be a learning experience, as we mentioned, for them. They're going to look back at these tapes and they're going to try to correct what they did wrong in this one.
But I think the biggest issue here for the Dreamers is the health of Will Artino. So hopefully whatever he is facing is going to be a minor thing, because they're going to definitely need him when they play San Miguel Alab, Pilipinas, with big PJ Ramos and Ronaldo Balkman in the fold. That's going to be on Friday in Santa Rosa, Laguna, Philippines.
That's going to be a big game. Again, San Miguel Alab, Pilipinas. Well, they have a game tomorrow against the CLS Knights, beating the CLS Knights in their first game of the season in a blowout. They will be facing Formosa Dreamers again on Friday at Santa Rosa, Laguna. The Dreamers, while you expect them to bounce back, and they will have a few days of rest before that game. As for Mono Vampire, though, this is a good victory to up their confidence in this point of the season, now at 1-4. All hope is not lost for Mono Vampire as they try to bounce back in their rough start in season number 9. And on behalf of our broadcast team here, my partner, Marco Benitez, this is Martin Javier saying thank you for tuning in, and see you guys next time in the next game of the ASEAN Basketball League season number 9.